I'm gonna let you in on a secret. I hate PowerPoint. There, I said it, and it feels good, but I work in a corporate world, and PowerPoint is basically the official language. So when I volunteered to give a presentation about AI to my colleagues, I had a choice. Make them suffer through another deck of boring bullet points, or figure out how to make it interesting. Welcome to the HR Diary AI Field Notes episode 3. My name is Jafar, and this is where I document my experiments with AI in professional life. In each episode, I share techniques that have helped me gain fresh perspectives, boost productivity, and make work more fun. Join me on the HRD's mission, subscribe and like the video. So, several weeks back, I raised my hand and volunteered to hold a presentation about AI to a group of colleagues in HR. I was not voluntold, not for this one at least. My goal was to encourage them to apply the experimental mindset. The easy way would have been to slap together a few slides, some bullet points, and wing the rest. I already knew the main use cases I wanted to cover, but I didn't want it to be boring. You see, PowerPoint and we don't really speak the same language. I was being dramatic in the opening. I don't hate it, it's just not my medium. Since I'd already worked on the script for the HR Diary, I figured that the best way to showcase the power of the next technique, the art director, will be to generate all the visuals about AI with AI. First, I told ChatGPT to act as an art director and visual designer. I asked it to suggest 5 best visual representation for each idea in the script. I pasted one chapter after another, and it generated some really interesting concepts. I picked the one I liked best and pushed it further. I asked AI to become prompt engineer and write the actual prompt I would need to create that graphic. I inspected it, it's always good to have the human in the loop, made few corrections, and I fed that prompt into both ChatGPT and Gemini to generate the visuals. And I did it for all the slides. Here's the result of the work. It's simple, appealing, and expresses the ideas clearly. So if you're like me and think better in words than slides, try this. Instead of staring at blank PowerPoint templates, write out your content first and then use AI to experiment with the visuals. But wait, there is more. Before I even created the presentation, I wanted to understand where all my colleagues were with AI. The last thing I wanted was to bore them with stuff they were already doing. So I put together a quick Mentimeter survey and collected their responses. To kick off the presentation, I planned to show them their own survey results. I pasted the data in the beginning of the deck, but it looked boring. So instead, I turned to NotebookLM. In the AI Field Notes 2, I showed you how I use its podcast creation capabilities to get more insights on my week. I want to show you how you can enrich your presentations with visuals that in the past used to require specialized software and skills, and today you can create them for free in just 10 minutes. The feature is called Video Overview. You can choose between 2 formats, an explainer, which is a bit longer, and a brief overview. There are tons of languages and several visual styles to pick from. Here's what I did. I dictated a note to ChatGPT with the main ideas I wanted to cover in the intro. Then I pasted that script into NotebookLM, selected English and the brief overview format, and 10 minutes later, I had this.
So, does the whole world of AI feel a little intimidating? Maybe you feel like you're not a prompt engineer or some kind of expert yet. Well, you know what? You're definitely not alone. This tech is brand new for pretty much everyone. We're all in this massive global experiment, just trying to figure out how to make it work for us. So, let's get practical. How are people actually using AI day to day? Like a little assistant that lives in their computer. Get this, a full third of professionals are already using AI every single day. That's a huge number. It tells us we've moved way past just playing around with it. AI is officially part of the daily grind.
AI already today is able to create slide decks based on prompts. It can even take the provided templates. So far, however, the ones that I used and experimented with, the results were far from what I wanted. There was still a lot of manual work to be done, but I'm pretty sure that in the near future, we will be able to redirect time from generating slides into stuff that we enjoy more. There are many Gen AI tools out there and they're all good at different stuff. It's like having a toolbox. You wouldn't use a hammer for everything, right? Same deal with AI. So, for instance, ChatGPT. I personally love it for brainstorming and just throwing ideas around. It's perfect when I'm in that early phase where I'm trying to figure out different angles or just need to think through something out loud. In 90% of the cases, I use voice to operate it, and I'm not talking about the conversation, I'm talking about the dictation. But when I need real, source-backed research, I switch over to Perplexity and use its deep search feature. It goes out and scours the web for you, then brings everything back with proper sources attached. Stuff that used to take me hours, finding academic research, going through them, checking multiple articles, making sure claims were legit, now happens in just a few minutes. If you're doing any kind of research, it's a total game changer. Here's my go-to workflow. I start by asking ChatGPT to help me write a really good Perplexity prompt, because the quality of your prompt makes a huge difference in what you're gonna get back. I tell ChatGPT that it's a prompt engineer. Then it helps me figure out exactly what I'm looking for, what angles matter, and how to phrase the whole thing so I'm actually asking the right questions. Then I take that prompt, drop it into Perplexity, and few minutes later I've got my results. And it's not just answers. Perplexity gives you all the citations, links to the sources, and it often finds studies or perspectives I would have never discovered just Googling around. If you're doing academic or professional research where you need solid, credible sources, you've got to tell Perplexity to use only peer-reviewed sources. Without that instruction, Perplexity might pull information from Reddit threads, random blog posts, or just people's opinions online, which, don't get me wrong, can be useful if you're trying to gauge what people think about something, but if you need actual evidence-based research, that's not gonna cut it. So, there you have it. 2 more techniques for your AI toolkit. The art director for when you need to communicate visually but think in words, and the personal research team for when you need credible information fast. The pattern here is pretty simple. Use the right tool for the job and don't be afraid to chain them together. Let ChatGPT help you brainstorm and craft better prompts, then hand off to Perplexity when you need sources, or to NotebookLM when you want to turn information into podcast or animation. Remember, we're still just scratching the surface of personal productivity gains here. We haven't even touched the department or enterprise level yet. But that's the beauty of building these skills one technique at a time. You're creating a foundation. So here's your assignment, or let's call it a challenge. Pick one thing from this episode. Maybe it's generating visuals for your next presentation, or maybe it's trying Perplexity for deep search. Just try one, experiment, see what happens. That's what these field notes are all about, documenting what works in the real world, not just theory. If you found this useful, hit subscribe so you don't miss the next technique. Drop a comment and let me know which AI tool you're experimenting with right now. My name is Jafar and this was the HR Diary. Experiment, stay curious, HR out.